All right, let's talk about something that I think, well, I know we can all relate to. We're going to dive into that quiet, kind of sinking feeling that can creep up on you when you're just scrolling through your phone. And more importantly, we're going to talk about how to understand it and how to get back to feeling good about your own life.
You know the feeling, right? You're just chilling, maybe catching up on what everyone's been up to, and then you see it. Your friend is on this amazing vacation. A coworker got a huge promotion. Someone else has this picture-perfect family day. And boom, just like that, your own day, your own life can suddenly feel a little bit dull in comparison. If that sounds familiar, the most important thing I want you to hear is this. It is so, so common. You are absolutely not alone in feeling this way. This isn't some kind of personal weakness or flaw. It's a completely human reaction to a very, very modern problem.
So, to really get why this happens, we have to look at how our brains are actually built. This whole habit of comparing ourselves to other people, it isn't something new we picked up with smartphones. Nope, this is an ancient instinct. At the heart of it all is this thing psychologists call social comparison theory. Basically, it's our brain's built-in system for figuring out how we're doing. We all have this deep, natural drive to understand our place in the world, to answer that quiet question, am I doing okay? And when there isn't a clear, objective way to measure that, our brain just automatically starts looking around at others for clues. And, think about how this has changed. For our early human ancestors, comparing themselves to others in their small tribe was actually crucial for survival. Later on, before the internet, our comparison pool was pretty small. Our neighbors, our family, our coworkers. But today, whoa, we are comparing ourselves to a nonstop global feed of perfectly polished online lives. Our ancient brain just wasn't designed to handle this kind of information overload. And that right there brings us to the core of the problem, what I call the highlight reel illusion. This is where that natural, ancient instinct to compare gets all twisted up and becomes something that can actually make us feel pretty miserable. I mean, just think about it. What do people actually post on social media? It's the big wins, right? The achievements, the milestones. It's the most flattering photos, the amazing trips, all the happy, shiny moments. It's almost always just the good stuff. Nobody's posting about the boring meeting they had on a Tuesday or the argument they got into or the time they messed up at work. So when we're flooded with only these perfect moments day after day, it creates something called a cognitive distortion. It sounds like a big, complicated term, but all it really means is our brain is getting tricked. It starts to believe that this endless stream of perfect moments is what other people's normal, everyday lives actually look like. Okay, this slide right here, this is everything. This is the unfair game we're all playing. On one side, you've got your full reality. The behind-the-scenes footage of your life with all the good parts, the bad parts, the boring parts, the messy parts. And on the other side, you've got their highlight reel, a perfectly edited movie of only their best and most exciting moments. So we're comparing our raw, uncut footage to their finished film. And that is a comparison you can never, ever win. Okay, so that's the problem. But here's the really good news. Once you see the illusion, once you recognize the game, you can start to take its power away. So let's talk about how we can start to reframe our thinking around this. I really want you to let this quote sink in. That feeling of being behind or lacking, it's not actually a true reflection of you or your life. It's just a side effect of this completely unfair comparison. Your journey is whole. It's real. What you're seeing online is just a tiny, carefully selected slice of someone else's. So let's be super clear here. Your urge to compare is normal. It's human. The problem isn't you. The problem is the distorted, unrealistic information your brain is being fed. The game is rigged from the very beginning because the stuff you're comparing yourself against, it's just not the whole story. So, what can we actually do about it? How do we browse social media more mindfully? I want to give you a really simple, practical, let's call it a treatment plan, with 3 new habits you can start putting into practice today. Okay, step 1, recognize the highlight. The very next time you see a post that makes you feel that little pang of envy, I want you to consciously say to yourself, this is a highlight. This is not the whole story. Just naming it, just labeling it for what it is, can take away so much of its power. All right, number 2, reframe the comparison. Instead of looking outward at them, I want you to look inward. Compare yourself today to where you were yesterday, or last month, or last year. That is the only comparison that actually measures your real growth. And number 3, focus on your own progress.
Take just a moment every day to notice and acknowledge one of your own genuine, unfiltered achievements. It doesn't matter how small it seems. This shifts your focus from their curated world back to your real life. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What would change for you? What if you made a conscious choice to measure your life by your own journey, not by anybody else's highlight reel? What if your only benchmark was your own unique path, your own progress, and your own joy? The power to make that shift, it's entirely in your hands.